What's up, everyone? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys a seven-game slate for NBA tonight. Six games we have past seven, so that's pretty much what you want to call the slate. So six-game slate. We have a 5 o'clock game here today. So there's a couple lines in here that we're looking at in the fantasy score. So I'm going to talk about those for sure later in the video. And if this is your first time watching one of our videos, welcome. We cover player props on Prize Picks. And we actually have a promo code for Prize Picks, which is Upstate. So you can sign up using promo code Upstate, and if you deposit $100, you get a free $100 back. So you have $200 in your account to play with, which is just an awesome deal. And then if you never experienced something like Prize Picks, it's virtually just a simple way to play DFS. So you got someone like Kyle Lowry, you can take the over/under on him. You can mix and match sports. You can mix and match NBA with college football, like CS:GO. Like it's actually really cool. So there's a lot of different things to choose from on the whole app too. So definitely recommend checking it out. It's been good to us. Our channel's been growing at an awesome rate thanks to you guys. So we can't thank you guys enough for that. And our picks have been pretty good, man. We've been killing on NFL. We just posted an NFL video yesterday. So if you want to go check that out. If you're a fan of the NFL, be sure to go check that out. And Riaz, he's been doing awesome on his picks. He went like 6 for 7 on his picks the other day for NBA. The last time we did a video was the Wednesday. Was it the Friday slate?
Yep. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah. We just do so many videos, man. But I just know that he's been on fire, especially this whole week. Really, he's had an awesome percentage this week. So if you want to ride Riaz's hand, I got some picks that I'm pretty confident in this week. But in the DFS world, nothing is guaranteed. We always know that, man. So I'm gonna let Riaz kick us off here in the points category. And who do you like?
Yeah, the first guy I'm going to is someone I've been playing almost every single time he's got a game, and that's Wendell Carter Jr. I love targeting big men against Washington, so obviously I love this matchup. His line's sitting at 12 and a half, which I really love. He's averaging 13 points a game, and I mean, he is just crushing, shooting 40% from three. Um, really, in his past like 6 games, uh, only one really was that bad. But if you just kind of look at every game that he's played so far, he's just been smashing in the points category. Him and Bamba just play so well together. Wendell Carter Jr. is kind of the main guy down low to be kind of the scorer. So I really do like Wendell Carter for the points here.
Yeah, I like him in some other spots, but I think in the points category, we're always going against people against Washington, centers particularly against Washington, usually some high scoring games. But Washington has definitely changed their narrative this year. They're definitely a solid team. They're deep, and their rotation down low is pretty solid. I still like Carter in the spot. I still like pretty much every big man going against Washington, but like we might start to see some things shift over there because they are playing well as of late. In the points category as well. In that Detroit versus Toronto game. That's at 7:30. I like Fred VanVleet, man. He's been playing really well. Pretty much this whole entire season. Obviously, with the departure of Kyle Lowry, he's been getting up a lot of shots, and he's been hitting at a pretty good rate. And I just think that after this hot game against Philly, I think this is a solid matchup against a really bad Detroit team. I mean, they're like pretty much bottom of the league in just about everything. And I don't know. He hits the three ball well. I'm not liking him, and his assist category is at like 7.5. I'm not necessarily on that, but like I said, super hot last week. Really had a nice stretch of games there. Started off the week with 33 points, ended the week with 32 points, and in between, really just averaging about 20 and shooting the ball 40% from deep. If he puts up 22 shots like he did last time with 11 three-pointers, hit 6 of them, I really like him in the spot.
Yeah, I mean, even to keep it in the same game, I like Scotty Barnes once again. Great rookie. Definitely going to take advantage of this Detroit team. A lot of points are going to be scored in this game, and we saw his line tick up to 14 and a half, and now it's back down to 12 and a half. And whenever I see his line at that point, it's just an awesome line. I mean, he's averaging 16 and a half points a game, which is just unbelievable for a rookie. He's playing out of his mind, and even though Pascal Scallum is back, it doesn't seem to affect his production or anything. So I love the line. Great player. Definitely going to be riding with Scotty Barnes today.
Yeah, Siakam, he's been playing like kind of back and forth. Really misses a game, plays a game, rests on the back to backs. I think both these guys are still playable, and this should be. Um, a pretty lopsided game in my opinion here. I think Toronto should have their way with this Detroit team. But regardless, I think both guys are viable here in the spots. It's not like it's not like Van Fleet's at like 21, 22, and Barnes is at a low line too. So we like both of those guys. And the next guy I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to be looking at a lot of these Washington guys in different categories, but I like Kyle Kuzma here at the points. So Bradley Beal is missing tonight because he's dealing with some personal reasons, and even with Beal in there, we haven't seen Kuzma go for like a crazy scoring game. His high this season is 26. But with Beal in there, his high is 22. So Beal missed the second game of the season against Indiana, and we saw Kuzma have 26 points, put up 17 shots, but really, I mean, sometimes when Beal plays, he still puts up 14 to 17 shots. He's shooting the ball 40% from deep, and he's taking quite a bit of them. He's not like shooting like double-digit three-pointers, but he still takes quite a bit. So I really like Kuzma on the spot. I like him in his fantasy score too, just because he does like the intangibles for you. Like he's a tremendous rebounder, really averaging 9 rebounds on the season. Not going to do much in the playmaking category, but if he could sprinkle in a block and definitely get a double double with rebounds, his fantasy score is at like 30. So that's definitely a solid one to look at too. So I like Kuzma here at 16.5 for sure against this Orlando team. That should be a high scoring game, especially with Beal being out.
Yeah. The last guy I'm going to talk about is Nicholas Batum. His line's sitting at 9.5, and I mean, if you're game logging, you could just tell he's crashing. He's just absolutely smashing, shooting almost 50% from three, 53% from the field. His line is just way too low for me. I mean, before his last game where he only scored 6 points, he was averaging around 15 points. Um, in those last 5 games. So that six is kind of an outlier. I love the matchup against Minnesota. I don't think there's going to be too high of a score, but Batum just finds a way to get the ball in the basket, and he's just shooting way too good not to get over 9.5. So good line for him. I'm gonna see if the line doesn't move. I would definitely take it at 9.5 before it moves.
Batum's one of those guys that like you want on your squad. Really, he's really a guy that does a lot for you out there. A great rebounder, plays well on the defensive side of the ball. Is averaging a steal and a half a game, which is awesome to see. Not much of a playmaker, but that's really not what he's out there to do. They have a pretty solid all around team realistically. I've been targeting some Clippers guys in some of the late games on some other DFS sites like DraftKings. I like playing Batum over there. He's always pretty cheap and sometimes he can hit a nice ceiling game for you. And like you said, he's shooting really well from deep this season. He's never going to be a guy that puts up a crazy ton of shots, but 9.5 is just like it's almost like taking PJ Tucker at like 4. It's just like super low. And for a guy that's probably going to play around 30, 31 minutes, I really like him in that spot.
You want me to start on rebounds?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the first guy I'm going to talk about is Mo Bamba. I mean, love targeting Washington. Um, we know Montrezl Harrell is just an absolute beast down there, but I think his line is just too low for me. I have him going for a double double tonight against Washington. I think he's going to have a great game. So him sitting at 8.5 is kind of low for me. I mean, we see some games where he gets to 16, 18 boards, but then some games he only has 5 or 4. But I mean, he sits right around 8, almost 9 rebounds a game, and just the matchup against Washington is way too good to pass up that line.
Yeah, between the two though, realistically, like I know when Wendell's at one more, but between the two, Bamba's just the guy that's likely to get more in foul trouble. But his line at 8.5 does look a little bit more intriguing when you're just like, oh, okay, he's averaging almost 10 on the season. Like he should get his. It's just if he can stay out of foul trouble, I mean that's an awesome spot for him, really. But Wendell too is pretty much like you're looking at like the same sort of line here. They get about the same. They average about the same thing too. So between both of these guys, you just got to pick the right one, really. And I think Mo is the type of guy that definitely deals with foul trouble a little bit more than Wendell does. But I could see where you're coming with either of these guys really against Washington, because that's pretty much where we've been at. I talked Kuzma a little bit on rebounds. When I was talking about him for points, how he's a great rebounder. Not really on the 7.5 line because I just have to see how the rotation goes in the front court. I mean, it's not like missing Beal puts an opportunity up for like a lot of rebounds. It's not like they're missing someone like Harold or Gafford. So I'm not really loving that Kuzma line, but I'm not gonna take an under on it really either. Other than that, I'm not really on much of these guys at all. I don't know if there was another guy that you're on. Um,
Yeah, I got OG Anobi.
yeah.
He's the last guy I want to talk about. Not averaging a ton of rebounds. I mean, his line is sitting at his average. So, I mean, that's not great to see, but there's definitely been some games where he's only gotten like four, three, two boards. So that really kills the average. But I mean, other than his first game where he had 10 rebounds, he's been right around this line. And I just would love to see him have the game that we thought he was going to have. Um, we saw him just smashing in the points category, which is, I mean, great for his team. But 5.5, I think it's a great line. I can see him grabbing 7, 8 boards in this game without a doubt. I know Detroit is big with Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant and Isaiah Stewart, but I think he takes advantage of them. I mean, he's very athletic, and I just love that line for some reason.
Yeah, Tobias Harris too. He's sitting at 6.5, and he's hit that his last 5 games with Embiid still being out. I think he's in a solid spot. I don't think. I think obviously Indiana's strong in the front court, but I think realistically that's a solid spot for Harris with Embiid missing again. I know Drummond grabs like obviously a shit ton of rebounds, but he's at 15. That's a high line too for me. I mean I know he's the type of guy that can go 20-20 any given night, but it is still high for someone that definitely could deal with foul trouble in that game. We'll hop over to assists. I'm really only on one guy here, and I don't know. You can start us off here.
Yeah, I got two guys here. Um, I really like Cole Anthony in this spot. Love his line at 4.5. I think that is way too low for how we kind of started the season. I mean, he was dishing the ball crazy. As of late, he's only had 2 assists the last 2 games. But he had a tough matchup against Utah and Brooklyn, so you can't really complain with him not having the best of games against those two teams. But love the spot here against Washington. I know we were just attacking Washington. I feel bad, but Washington gives up a bunch of points, especially now that Beal is out. And I mean, we both like the big men down low for this team. So he definitely has people that he can swing it to down low to just start racking up these assists.
Yeah, so the guy I'm on is actually an under. I like the under for Dinwiddie at 7 assists, and he's at 7. He's really only gotten this twice this season, really, and I can see the line obviously going up because Beal is out, but realistically, I think they're going to have to lean on him a little bit more to score rather than play make because I think he does rack up quite a bit of assists by giving the ball to Bradley Beal. So now all those points need to come from somewhere. I think Dinwiddie's a guy that might need to take a little bit more of a lead in scoring today, rather than dishing the ball. But like I said, only hit that twice this season, so I like the under here for Dinwiddie.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The last guy I want to talk about is Reggie Jackson. I've been on him on and off in this category just because I really love his line whenever it's around 3.5, 4, just because he's got that upside to get you 7, 8 assists. And I mean, he's only averaging 4, so there's another one sitting right at his line. But he's got a bunch of outlier games where he's only had 2 assists in a handful of games. But then you see, as of late, I mean, besides his last game, he had 6 assists in the two before, 4, 8. I think with Batum kind of getting going as of late, uh, that's just another guy he can swing it to. We know Paul George is a monster. So really like his line there, and I could see him getting 6 again for sure.
I think he's in a solid spot as well. Really, against this Minnesota team, he's got some weapons that he can definitely dish the rock to. Like you said, Batum has been getting going, so I like him there, and a guy that's been hitting it, more often than not this season. 4 is a solid spot for him. So I'm gonna plug those couple guys in here on the side of the screen. So, we got the Dinwiddie under Cole Anthony over, Reggie Jackson over. So yeah, I'm taking a little bit, a little bit more unders than I usually do so far. But the 3 pointers made, we only got 9 guys here. Miles Turner, he's a guy that's been playing, super good as of late. He started. Remember, he had that one game in the season. He had like 40. I think he went for like 60 DK points that one game earlier this season. Just a crazy game. But he's been shooting the rock really well from deep this season. Seth Curry looks like he's in a solid spot too. If he decides to take a bunch of shots, but lately he's up and down in that category. Van Fleet looks enticing too, just coming off a 6 3-pointer game. So there's a couple guys here, but I'm curious to hear who you like.
Yeah, I really like Miles Turner here. I love that his line is at 1.5, and it's kind of crazy to say, but he's shooting 45% from three this year, and it's not like he's only taking one or two threes a game. I mean, some games he's shooting 10, 7 three-pointers, which is crazy for a center. And I mean, you could tell he's worked on his shot. I mean, Miles Turner was never a guy where you thought he was just going to be chucking threes up every game, but I mean, you can't argue with 45% from three um, when he's shooting 6, 7 of them almost every single game. So for the line to be 1.5, I really like that line a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. So that's pretty much really the only guy I'm really going to be highlighting here, unless there's someone else you like. Like I said, Van Fleet is in a good spot. He's hit that in the last 5 games. So I do like him there in that spot because I'm on him with the points as well. So that's pretty much it for me. We can jump over to fantasy score if there's anyone here you like. Like I said, I got someone for the 5 o'clock game that I really like. I like Bam with the Butler news. Uh, Bam has just been absolutely smashing, really, and he's just I don't know, man. He's just been playing wicked well. I know this is a little tougher of a matchup, but we saw that game where Butler did go down early in that Lakers game, just absolutely smashed. So I think just a spot where you want to ride that hot hand and just does a lot for you more. Than just score. Really, he's a tremendous rebounder and a just awesome shot blocker too. So hopefully he can stay out of foul trouble in this game. I think he can easily hit this 38 if he does stay out of foul trouble. So I'm gonna plug him in there over.
Yeah, Bam can always go out there and just put up a monster double double, grab 15 boards, have 21 points, and I mean that is just more than enough in this game for his 38 fantasy score. To keep it in the same game, another person who's getting a lot of usage, uptick in minutes is Duncan Robinson. I mean, he started off the year kind of slow. I thought he would have a bigger role in this team, but Tyler Hero's just been looking awesome this year. And Duncan Robinson, I mean, you're kind of getting a discount here at 21 fantasy score. Last 2 games since Jimmy Butler's been out, 33-30. That's just awesome to see. I mean, he's shooting the ball pretty well so far this year. Just hasn't gotten the run that we thought he was going to get. Tyler Hero's just kind of taken that. Even though Robinson does start, Tyler Hero just comes in and starts getting hot early, and Duncan Robinson doesn't really see the minutes, but he's going to take advantage with Jimmy Butler being out and getting the uptick in minutes for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the type of guy that's just score dependent, you know, which is tough, but realistically, 21 is low. If he does grab a couple rebounds and maybe has a couple assists, he could probably get a steal or two in there as well. That's just like it's just tough playing the score dependent guys, but there's only the ball has to go around with Butler not being there, so I don't mind Duncan Robinson there at 21 either. Some guy that's been playing out of his mind is Tyrese Maxey. He's at 32 right now, just been absolutely just smashing in every single spot that he's been in. The down game against Chicago, but Chicago's been pretty much tough all year. So I really like Maxey in the spot. Obviously Embiid is still out, but Maxey he's just been playing like literally the entire game, upwards of 40 minutes, 44 minutes, 45 minutes. Just been absolutely just playing the entire game, smashing, putting up 24 shots, 19 shots. Not shooting the ball from deep. As much as I'd like to see, but shooting at a good percentage, 38%, and he's just filling up the stat sheet, playmaking a little bit. He got some blocks last game. He's been averaging over almost a steal a game in the past 10 games, like really, like realistically, just for minutes wise too, because minutes is and volume is where you get your fantasy score from, and he's absolutely been killing. So I'm gonna plug Maxi in over 32.
Yeah, I mean, It's awesome that his line is still at 32 with how he's just been playing as of late. So definitely take advantage if he continues to smash. That line's gonna definitely go up to 35, 38. The last guy I want to talk about, I've been on him a lot, and that's Scotty Barnes. His line's sitting at 30. I think that's an awesome line for him. Um, if you just look at his last five recent games, he's gotten over that pretty easily. But not even that. I touched on it a little bit earlier. Scoring a ton of points, grabbing a bunch of rebounds, averaging 16 points, averaging almost 9 boards, averaging a steal a game, which is kind of great. And we know he's not a 3 point shooter. He doesn't really take that many threes. He's only averaging 20% from three, but he's shooting 53% from the field, which uh, is an awesome number for a power forward. Takes a bunch of shots, almost averaging 11, 12 shots a game, which is awesome to see. And when you can add 20 points with 8 assists or 8 rebounds and a couple assists and a steal, I mean that's just going to get over 30 every single night.
Yeah, I like him here in this spot too. I was on him with the points too, like you said, with 12.5 points, which is low for him. But fantasy score, if he can grab the rebounds this game, I definitely can see him eclipsing that for sure. I was talking Kyle Kuzma, over 30. I like him in that spot. I got him to score over 20 points tonight, also to grab a decent amount of boards. So I think he can get there, pretty much just scoring the ball. Realistically, I don't think he's gonna go for 30, but I think if he can sprinkle in a couple threes, he can get there pretty close to just 30 fantasy points just by putting the ball in the basket. Anything extra he does for you is just gonna boost over that 30 really quick. So I like him there. We were on Cade last video. He was a cover boy, had a down game, but he's still at a fair spot realistically. Like we know what he can do. He's going. It's a tougher matchup against Toronto, but just the usage is insane for him. So 27 still is low. And then Isaiah Stewart, Rios was just on him, hit the nail on the coffin, man. He's just bad, really. Like he comes in like the under here just looks so good. He's always dealing with foul trouble. So that's, I mean, the majority, I'm not gonna say that he's bad, but just a majority of him not getting his fantasy points comes from foul trouble. I know Olynyk's been out. I really don't see a problem here taking the under on Isaiah Stewart again.
No, I mean if you just kind of base everything off the stats, yeah, he is shooting almost 50% from the field, but he doesn't take um, that many shots. And like you said, it seems to me that he just always gets in foul trouble. And even at the line at 26, I mean, he's only gone over that 2 times this year. So definitely love the under once again for him.
Yeah, and then right at the bottom, I just wanted to highlight Batum quick. He's hit this every single game in the last five, so I like him here in the spot. Definitely finding his role in this offense. He's at 25 for a guy that we have over 9 fantasy points that can also do a lot for you in other categories. If get a couple steals, maybe a block, I think he can get there. Definitely not a lock for me realistically, but he's definitely a guy I wanted to highlight. A lot of guys in fantasy score I like here. I can talk about this really all day, man, for fantasy score because there's a lot of guys that I'm really on tonight. But I hope you guys liked the video. We talked a bunch of guys in each category. That's pretty much what we do here. We don't like to kind of just like build one lineup and put it out. If we do, we usually drop it on Twitter. That's always in the description if you want to go check out the Twitter. Sometimes we do put a line on there if we're really on it. Usually for the smaller slates because there's really not much to talk about. But this is a nice slate, man. We got 6-7 games here, and these are the ones we like. Some injuries that have kind of affected some things. So I think you got some solid discounts and some high lines that we definitely to take the under on. So thank you for the support. If there's something that we didn't talk about, as always, drop it down below in the comment section. We'll get right back to you, and then we hope you have a good luck tonight. And thank you guys. Peace.